Hey, hello everybody, it's your boy Durf, and welcome back to Skrep Makenik. So we're going to be continuing the camera-controlled logic series of videos. If you haven't seen those before, I'm going to link some in the description down below, where I showed you guys how to convert WASD controls into tank controls, and making them relative to your camera direction. I've also shown you guys how to create the camera-controlled turrets, so that you can fire based on where your mouse is pointing. And then we moved on to camera-controlled car steering, which I think was pretty cool. But now we're moving on to a different kind of camera-controlled vehicle. It's camera-controlled planes. So this, as you can see, it's already trying to flap its flappy wings a little bit, just based on me moving my mouse around. So if I look up, this flap goes down. If I look down, the flap goes up. I really wish I could show you that a little bit better, but you know what? Why don't we just hop into it, and we'll go from there. So bear with me, there's gonna have to be like this awkward camera angle for takeoff, but once we're in the air, we're good to go. So I've just got a single thruster in the front, just to move me forward, and the rest is completely controlled by the mouse. So if I turn over, the plane actually rolls to the direction to help with turning, and then levels out in the new direction. And there was actually a couple ways to go about this. Originally, I wanted to do this a little bit differently so that A and D actually control the roll. Right now, A and D doesn't control anything except for those little wheels in the front. That just helps with taxiing your plane in a direction while you're making contact with the ground. But the way that I set up the controls this time, it's just if you are turning, the plane will roll, and like the further you turn, the more sharply it will roll to assist with that turning. And of course we can pitch up and pitch down, and the plane follows our mouse direction. Of course we have to keep on giving it some thrust, or else we just sort of end up very floaty. And you know, it controls really well. You know, this kind of setup, it makes planes really, really easy to fly. So I mentioned originally that I wanted to do camera controls a different way, where A and D actually controls the roll. So I might actually save that for another video, but originally what I wanted to do was, you know, you press W to thrust forward, and that's that. So A and D would control the roll, and if you rolled to the right, let's say 90 degrees, you'd still be going forward. You're not going to stop going forward, except then if you pitch up and down, that would actually control the yaw. The stabilizer in the back, that would actually control the yaw, so that you'd still go forward, but then it just flips pitch and yaw whenever you're rolling around. So I might do that for another video if I create a stunt plane. Let me know down in the comments below if you actually want to see that. But for this video, let's hop down out of this plane. Oh, let's avoid the tree. Let's hop down out of this plane and check out some of the logic that's controlling this. So as you can see, I specifically tried to make it like as compact as possible. This is actually, believe it or not, this is one of the first functional planes that I've actually built. I had a couple of failures in the past whenever I played with some wing parts. But for one of my very first planes, especially a logic controlled plane, I think this turned out pretty well. Alright, so what do we got here? We have the camera orientation block up in the front. Hooked up to the pitch and roll. So immediately we know which way our camera is pointing relative to that orientation block pointed to the front of the plane. So relative to the front of the plane, I'm looking in the same direction that the plane orientation is. We'll know if we're, you know, pointed to go above the plane, below the plane, to the left, or to the right. And then underneath here, we have multiplication blocks. We are just multiplying, I think this is a value of 70 in here. So it's just giving us 70 degrees. If we're pitching all the way up or all the way down, it'll pitch these flaps 70 degrees up and down, and the inverse of that in the back. So for the multiplication, I'm just like, you know, between positive 70 and negative 70. And I have both of these connected, one each to a negative block on each side, so you can actually see they're color-coded. The roll has a positive value, which, by the way, when I say positive value, I mean the range is between negative 70 degrees and positive 70 degrees. And then if I connect it to the minus block over here to make it from positive 70 degrees to negative 70 degrees. So I just inverted the range. And same for the pitch. So what that lets me do is, for example, I can control the pitch for the front wings and then the opposite pitch for the back wings, so that the back and the front work together to help pitch the plane a little bit faster. So that explains the pitch and the roll number logic. So then I'm feeding those into 4 math blocks plus on all corners over here. So this is actually a really simple way to set it up. I have front left wing, front right wing, back right, and back left. So for the pitch, you can actually see the connection lines that I'm lighting up. They actually go to the back 2 wings, and the negative value over here, they're connected to the front 2 wings. So the front is getting the negative value of between 70 and negative 70. Sorry, did I say that this was roll in the beginning? I actually meant that this was yaw. This is a camera, yaw, and pitch. Yaw. It's pitch and yaw for the camera. Anyway, for the positive yaw, I have that connected straight to the tail fin right here. So this is actually easy to show you. If I point my camera this way, you can see the plane is trying to turn to the left where I'm pointing. If I point my camera this way, it's trying to turn to the right where I'm pointing. Now, I did do a similar thing with this yaw control, except I fed them into the left and right side respectively, so that if I'm turning to the left, you can see the right side, or sorry, what did I say? I said turn to the left, but I pointed right. I forgot, I mixed up my left and right. So if I'm turning to the right, you can see that the right side wings angle their flaps upward, and the left side angles their flaps downward. So this is actually going to rotate the entire plane. It's going to roll the plane towards the right, and that's what we saw earlier when we were flying around. Now, you don't actually want to do that continuously, so I have another bit of logic here in the back. Now, this is an exometer with the orient value. So what this is going to do is it's going to measure if my plane is actually upright or, tilted to one side or the other or upside down. So what this actually does then, we're multiplying this, or it just gives us the orientation of the plane in degrees. So if it's tilted to the left, let me actually show you guys. Let me show you guys exactly what it does. Alright, so now -9, there we go. There we go. So yeah, that's -24 degrees. That's tilted to the left 24 degrees. So what we're doing then is we're taking that orientation value, we're multiplying it by a smaller number. I think this is like 0.3. So we're actually taking roughly the third of that value. Then we're going to be adding that to the back wings. Oh no, wait. We're adding the positive of that to the right side and the negative of that to the left side. So what this ends up doing then is it ends up trying to correct the roll of the plane. So if we're tilted to one side, this is always active, by the way. It's always going to try to correct the plane so the plane is level while it's flying in the air. And because we have this that's actually a very low value, like we're taking 1/3 of the tilt value, it's a very weak correction. So relative to the yaw control that ends up rolling the plane, like this and this, that's a very strong correction. So let's get back up in the air and I'll show you what I mean. So the plane, as you can see, it's already slightly tilted, but it's not that big of a deal. We're still going in the direction that we're pointing in, mostly. But if I turn real quick, that roll takes over like immediately. And then, as you can see, we're sort of just leveling out automatically. We don't have to worry about any sort of controls to deal with that. And we're just slowly leveling out over time. Doesn't matter if it's like a huge turn that I make or a small turn. We'll always just level out because of that gradual orientation fix. And this works out perfectly too because generally speaking, when you're controlling a plane and you just want to turn in a specific direction, you turn to face that direction and you don't constantly turn. So eventually your yaw is going to end up being 0. You're going to have 0 influence on the roll of the plane anymore, but your orientation will still be off, so that's going to be influencing the roll of the plane back to normal. So if we give this plane like a constant roll, then it's never actually going to correct because you're purposely giving it a constant roll. So anyway, I had a lot of fun building this logical plane, and as I said in the last video, to get into this number logic stuff, you just need an idea, and you just gotta go for it. You just gotta dive right in, try to pursue that idea, and see how it goes. So it is like a puzzle, like problem solving. But I had a lot of fun building it, so let me know what you guys think down in the comments below, and if it was too confusing, I'll do like a proper build tutorial. Although I will have this up on the workshop for you guys to play around with yourself. But yeah, let me know what you think of this video down in the comments below. If you like this video, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next one, where I might build a stunt jet. That might be a little bit different. I might do that different control scheme that I mentioned earlier, where you can manually control the roll with A and D. See, like right now you have A and D free to completely do with whatever you want. I'm just using it to control the wheels of the plane, but you can actually wire that up to some spud guns so you can have some air battles. You can do whatever you want. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!